Wouldn't you know it? Had to be a phone call before he got into his Q&A. But all right, I backed this up just a little bit, and we'll, I appreciate you guys sticking through this and coming back for the second part. Obviously, you must have enjoyed it. Now he's going to go over some other stuff here and do some Q&A for some people that were emailing him and or messaging him. He's got some people reading the questions to him, and a lot of people really enjoy that part of what he does. So I'm going to let that part play out so that you can figure out whether this is the kind of stuff you enjoy or whether you want to actually start following him, Dr. Wallach, on Facebook. I do understand he has a YouTube channel also with some of these on it, but yeah, like I said, I don't want to hold up your time today. I do appreciate you guys sticking around and coming back for the second part. Again, please give me that thumbs up. If you want to hear more of these, as I said in the first one, share this out to your friends. Leave comments below asking me for more of this stuff. Dr. Wallach, in so many instances, just has changed my life and given me reason to talk about a lot of this stuff. Some of the other stuff I do talk about is not necessarily Dr. Wallach's forte, but he brings in and has other doctors working in longevity for just this reason. And again, the link is below. You can follow along with some of this stuff. Get involved in this. If you want to talk about memberships, what have you, I can be gotten a hold of, but I'm not going to carry on any longer. I'm going to let you hear this out, and then I'm going to shut this off. So again, thanks for coming in today. We'll talk to you all later. Please enjoy.
In 2 weeks, by getting her off of gluten and giving her the 90 essential nutrients, her asthma she'd had for 11 and a half years, getting worse and worse and worse, was going to kill her according to Emory University, went away. And Pastor Dollar said, now, there's all these genetic diseases in the black population. Is that same thing true for all genetic disease in the black population? That's correct. All the diseases said to be genetic in the black population are not. All the diseases that are said to be genetic in the black population are either caused by birth defects where the mother was deficient in a nutrient, okay, during the development of that part of the embryo, okay, like sickle cell anemia. White people get sickle cell anemia. It's called thalassemia. Hummingbirds get sickle cell anemia. It's called thalassemia. All right. It's not a genetic disease. It's just a birth defect during the developmental part of the embryo when the bone marrow cells that make hemoglobin are being formed. Totally 100% preventable by giving all 90 essential nutrients before conception and all through the development of the embryo. But once they're born with that, you can improve it a little bit. They won't die from it. All other things like high blood pressure, diabetes, obesity, Alzheimer's disease, every kind of thing you can think of that's said to be genetic in the black population is not. Okay? Just very, very simple nutritional deficiencies, and of course, totally preventable. And we're talking about things like cleft palate, cleft lip, heart defects of all kinds, and belly button hernias, and diaphragmatic hernias, and inguinal hernias, and spina bifida, and hydrocephalus, and all these things are actually caused by simple nutritional deficiencies. Many of them are reversible after the baby's born. Even Down syndrome is caused by nutritional deficiency when the baby's a one-celled embryo, and that one nutrient is missing when it divides into two cells. Okay, in the early stages of pregnancy, before 2 months of age of the embryo, is reversible by giving the mother the 90 essential nutrients. Done it many times. And once the baby's born with a Down syndrome, you give them the 90 essential nutrients, and they can function better than the average person who doesn't supplement. Okay, and it's one of those things where we can do miracles. That's called epigenetics, and that's why I'm considered one of the two fathers, along with Bruce Lipton, like Lipton Tea. He looks at identical twins that are separated in the first year of life, and 30 years later, they don't look like identical twins. They don't act like identical twins. There's nothing alike about them, even though they're identical twins, because they were raised differently. And of course, I found out the same thing by working with 5 groups of fertile eggs, okay, from ducks, and we put 25 of those fertile eggs, 4 groups, 100 of them in the incubator. They all hatched. Then put 25 of these day-old ducklings in each of 4 cages, gave them different diets, and at the end of 6 weeks, we killed them all, and they were all totally different because they were getting different diets. That's called epigenetics. And so, again, I urge everybody to get the books, Epigenetics, get the book, Rare Herbs and Cures. It'll tell you how to get a hair analysis in chapter 11, how to see if you're absorbing. I mean, you can do all that yourself. It'll teach you how to see if you're absorbing or not. You don't have to, the doctor doesn't know if you're absorbing. You can tell, though, from a hair analysis, and it tells you how to collect the hair, how to package it, where to ship it. A couple of weeks later, you'll get the results back, and it'll teach you how to interpret the results. That's chapter 11 in the book, Rare Herbs and Cures. Don't forget the CDs. Don't forget the DVDs. Don't forget the, when it comes to the cholesterol thing, I like the CD. It's called Stick of Butter Day Keeps the Doctor Away. And people, like your doctor says, be sure you exercise. Exercise is good for you, but don't take any vitamins and minerals. You want to get a hold of that CD. Exercise without supplementation is suicide. Exercise is okay. Okay, it's not required for life, but the nutrients are required for life. So be careful. Be sure you're supplementing, especially if you're exercising, working hard physically. And I don't know, are we set up for questions, Howard?
I don't think so.
I don't think so. Okay.
I can move them for you. You can answer them.
Okay.
Okay, so what are we going to do?
So Rudy wants to know the cause, if you know the cause of pernicious anemia and what supplements to take.
Okay, well, pernicious anemia is vitamin B12 deficiency. Okay? And so, and what you want to do is be sure that you're off all the bad foods so you can absorb vitamin B12, and you have to salt your food so you can make stomach acid. You need stomach acid to be able to absorb vitamin B12. Okay? But you have to get rid of all the gluten so you can absorb everything, including B12. And of course, if you have pernicious anemia, get rid of all the bad foods, no fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no glutens, no wheat, butter, oats, no sugar. And then you want to salt your food heavily. And of course, we have our pink Himalayan salt. We have the spicy salt, both of which is in our savor division, our spice division. And salt is the raw material for your chief cells in your stomach to make hydrochloric acid, which will actually prevent acid reflux. There is no such thing as acid reflux. It really should be called lack of acid reflux. So again, once again, the medical doctors are wrong there. But you get stomach acid, you'll absorb the B12. And if you want extra B12, don't get shots. You get our de-stress capsules, which have extra B12 in it. And pernicious anemia goes away very quickly. But you have to do all those things to maximize absorption. You have to take the supplements. You can't just bank on what you might get from your food.
All right. So I'm going to read some comments as we go through so that you can. So Ben Thimes Jr. says, hey, Doc, thanks for all the work you do. Anne-Marie Scott says, hi, Dr. Wallach. Thank you for all you do. Dean, I'm sorry, I'm probably going to butcher your last name. Weislogel wanted to know, how do I treat Waldenstrom's disease?
You have to tell me the symptom and what that is. I don't know what that is.
So hopefully he will respond. Let's see, what else do we have going on? Dean also wanted to know how old is Dr. Wallach now?
Okay, I'm 80 years old. I've been taking the 90 essential nutrients for 72 years. I have not been sick since I was 9. I do have injuries because I'm very active, but amazing with the 90 essential nutrients, you survive the injuries that would kill most people.
Candy May says, thank you, Doc. Dean also wanted to know, when is Doc going on PBS TV like so many other doctors?
Well, send him an email and ask.
We'll do that.
Be happy to do it.
Maybe he doesn't want to be on TV with the phonies.
Marion and Judy Rodas wish you would have your shows more often. Melinda Jordan Wilson says, Doc, you look awesome.
Well, thank you. Not bad for 80.
And let's see what else we have. We already answered that one. Judith Miller says, thank you.
Very welcome for all the thank yous.
Enoch Martinez, could you mention something about all viruses and coronavirus, please, from Texas?
Okay. Well, anytime you work with coronaviruses from Texas, you have to treat them like coronaviruses from every place else. Okay. Coronavirus is not something new. We dealt with it with the MERS and the SARS. They were kind of versions of the coronavirus. The COVID-19, which is our code word now for the coronavirus, is a part of the family of cold viruses. And you'll notice that kids under the age of 25 will get it, but they're not the ones who die. The people who die are over age 50, and they tend to have chronic issues of other things, like really severe respiratory problems and COPD and that kind of stuff. And they're in nursing homes and under heavy care and so on. And so they're the ones who die. The average age of people all over the world who die from the coronavirus is 80. So it's very, very life-threatening in the older population, but in the younger kids, they actually get what you would call cold symptoms. Okay, they will cough, which will spread the virus, and so you want to be sure. Again, you're using our PureWorks if you have that. I apologize for being back-ordered because of the rush of orders. Hopefully, we'll have some soon within a couple of weeks or a month or so. In the meantime, use our colloidal silver, use our eucalyptus oils, our tea tree oil, our cedar oils. Remember that our aromatherapy oils are not oils, so they're safe. All oils are bad except our aromatherapy oils, which are not oils. They're actually esters. They're 2 carbons long. They are actually designated in biochemistry as an ester, and they have very, very interesting activity against viruses and bacteria and fungus and parasites of various types and so on. And so you can actually do that on a regular basis. I mean, I do that 4 times a day, and I'm out there shaking hands, and you go out in public or you get in an airplane. You want to be sure you're doing everything you can do to keep your immune system happy. And don't forget the Z radical, the fucoid Z. Don't forget also the Cell Shield RTQ. I would throw in the BTT 2.0 tablets. And for those of you who came in late, your bone marrow is part of your immune system. Okay, it makes your white blood cells, your lymphocytes, your neutrophils, which are your cavalry, your first defense against virus attacks. So you want to add to your 90 essential nutrients, and I want to use the big hammer in the toolbox now, or Healthy Brain and Heart Pack. You also want to throw in MSM, or vitamin D3, or glucogel, and also the collagen peptides, and give everything to your bone marrow to make it happy so it can make the white blood cells, and also they make the red blood cells, they also make the platelets, and also antibodies. People don't realize that your bone marrow is part of your cardiovascular system. It's also part of your immune system. And so you really, really, really have to go out of your way to protect, nourish, and build. Now, if you don't have cancer, if you don't have any cancer, you also want to throw in the immortalium, which is special food designed to encourage stem cells to do their work. And so now is a good time, if you don't have cancer, is to throw in that immortalium to feed specifically the stem cells that make the white blood cells and the antibodies in your bone marrow, okay, lymphocytes, okay, and also neutrophils. And we're talking, again, bone marrow. You're talking about lymph nodes, thymus, spleen. You store all these things in the liver, and they get released when they get the call from your body, which releases chemicals when you get attacked by viruses. But don't forget the exterior. I'm going to be cleansing that constantly with all the things we've talked about here. And then, of course, you want to support the interior, your immune system, and your white blood cells and your antibodies.
All right. Rex Joseph Steele says, we love you, Doc. Keep up the good work. Dorita Ortiz says, I love you, Dr. Wallach.
Va con Dios.
And Galena Peterson wants to know why breech baby on the 6th month of pregnancy? Anything missing in diet? Thank you.
Breech babies are caused just by malposition, okay, and it depends on the size of the baby compared to the size of the mom, sort of stuff, and they get in that position, and when the time comes, if there's not somebody there trained to turn that baby around so it comes out head first, it will come out breech, okay. No babies should be born breech if there is a a midwife or a OBGYN around to deal with that, okay, from any particular profession, okay? But if you're on your own and that baby's in the wrong position, when the time comes, it'll come breech. It's not a deficiency.
Next up, and I apologize, I will probably pronounce this wrong. I don't know if it's Dr. Lynn or Doc Linney. I'm sorry, I'm not going to be able to pronounce his last name. She said, he or she says, always appreciate your great info and perspectives. Send people to you regularly. Blessings. Wellness educator for 30 years on your same page.
Thank you, Doc.
So we can see if anybody has any other questions they'd like to ask, or if there's any specific topics you would like to touch upon. We still have plenty of time.
And don't forget the regular radio programs. Again, I'm on 1,367 radio stations. I'm going to be on George Norrie, 10 to midnight Pacific time, 1 to 3 and 4 in the morning Eastern time on the 7th of April. And so you might want to jump in on that. I tell you, I've been doing that for 3 years. 2 hours interview with George Norrie. George is a lot of fun, has a great audience. I've been doing that every 4 to 6 weeks for 3 years. Has a great audience, and many of our longevity people listen to him when I'm on there. So again, April 7th, 10 to midnight on Pacific time, 1 to 3 in the morning, 1 to 3 in the morning, Eastern time.
And I'm going to stop there, everybody. So yeah, this is where the information's coming from. This is where a lot of, if not 90% of my information is coming from concerning your health and why it is so important to, address these vitamins and address these supplements and address your diet. And, that's, again, why I wrote the Green Wizard's Guide, is so that you can supplement your soils and get the best possible gardens out there. Again, the link is below. I can't stress enough how much everyone needs to get their hands on this book and start getting their soils turned around. We're facing, as of this date, 3/16 of 2020. We're facing the toilet paper roll shortage of the United States. Is responding like the same. Just wait until it starts on the food. Just wait. You've got time. 89 cents for a pack of seeds, and you can be producing the most incredible food you've ever tasted. It hasn't been available in your yard and in most grocery stores in 35 years, just by following my book. So hey, I appreciate your time. I truly, truly do think this is one of the most wonderful communities in the world on YouTube, because it gives us a voice when we wouldn't normally have one. So thanks for coming, everybody. Spread the word. I'm out here trying to help, trying to get this information out, trying to improve people's health by just giving you an organic way to address these different things. Y'all have a great day. I appreciate you stopping by.